Good evening, everybody. Shalom. I'm glad to be here to talk to you this evening. My name is Andrew, and I am English, and I am sorry that I'm talking to you in English today. I actually live in the city of Vienna, where it's about 1 meter under snow at the moment, so it's lovely to me to look out the window here and see the beach and the trees. And I was there in my T-shirt today when all of my Israeli friends were in jumpers and coats and jackets and telling me how cold it was, and I could have gone in the sea, but never mind. I'm going to talk to you tonight about care homes. Not care homes for elderly people, but care homes for adults in the complex care market. And that means, if I can press the right button, that means adults who have learning difficulties, adults who have been involved in accidents or have had problems with brain injuries or spinal injuries. It's a very specific market dealing with people in these very complex care areas. These people come to us sometimes for the rest of their life, sometimes for a short period of recuperation after an accident or an incident, sometimes for a medium time where we'll take care from them when they are released from emergency hospital right through to the system to when we care for them at home. We offer complete care facilities in our homes. One thing that's important to know is that we own and we operate all the homes. So we buy the properties, we run the properties, we provide the nursing facilities, the ancillary facilities, and all of the care facilities. We do everything from start to finish. It's a market that's growing. Sadly, well, two good sides. One good side is we keep people alive longer. Medical advances and medical care means that we can keep people in a better state for longer. But also, people are doing more adventurous things. So we have more people with accidents. Skiing, climbing, we're far more adventurous today, and this results in accidents or transport, motor crashes, and everything else. And we can see that the specialist care market, and this is brain injury and spinal injury, is quite significant. And this is set to grow. So the market runs into billions of pounds every year. And I'll tell you more about how that's funded later on. We're expecting this market to grow significantly in the coming years, primarily because of the way the care is provided. We have homes that our residents have something called Down syndrome. You probably know what Down syndrome is. It's quite common. But what isn't common, or what you didn't see before when I was young, was most adults with Down syndrome didn't actually live much past the age of 30. But now, with the advances of today, adults with Down syndrome are living to be 60, 65, 70. And so they need more care because the care is different. Because now we have Down syndrome adults who are suffering with Alzheimer's. And putting those things together, it makes the care far more complex. So we provide care for adults with learning difficulties, spinal injuries, brain injuries, right across the whole spectrum. The history of the fund started when we bought a group called Regard. Regard was a specialist care group, and what we did with this company was we bought more care companies and built them onto it. We became the third largest care group in the United Kingdom, but we only had 1.5% of the market. Now that's an interesting number. It's a very small number for a very big company, and that's because the market is so fragmented. There are hundreds and hundreds of companies providing the care. And our aim is to start with a key company and build and buy businesses and bring them in so that we can increase the profit levels in the company, not by reducing care, because care is the most important thing, but by reducing the head office costs, the management costs. And so we merge the companies in and build a business, increasing what we call the EBITDA numbers, the earnings numbers, allowing us to build a more profitable business and hence make more money for our investors. But at the same time, always providing care. And that's the most important part, because if you provide the care, you get more clients. If you don't provide good care, you don't get clients. And so we built a business, And at the end of 2017, we sold the Regard business and we started again with a new business, which I'll talk about shortly. But let's talk about what we made for our clients in those first 3 years. This is the 3-year return from the clients who invested in the MONTREUX Healthcare Fund. So we made, and this is net of all fees and charges, we made 75% for our clients. Quite simply put, we made 21% in the first year, 2015, we made 11% in the second year, 2016, and we made 27% in 2017, the year we sold the business and started again. Our biggest investor in the fund is the Church of England. And why do they invest? Because it's a socially responsible investment with good returns. So it's an investment that's doing good, but at the same time making a lot of money. In terms of market correlation, and this slide basically tells you is there is no correlation to the market. If the markets go up or down, it doesn't matter because we have a care system that's pretty much bomb-proof in terms of markets. You know, if the market, you've seen recently, you know, you don't know what's going to happen from day to day. Will it be down 2%? Will it be up 3%? Will it be down 4%? The markets move all over the place. But the care home fund, throughout the last 5 years, has just steadily grown. Occasionally, you might have a small negative month when we have some costs come in, but overall, it's a big increase. In fact, we've just had the December numbers announced, and in December, we were up 4.1%. So that was a nice, because we bought a new business and we were able to extract some immediate value from that business and put it into our business. The minimum investment depends on what level of investor you are, but the minimum published investment in the fund is $10,000 euro or sterling. The fund is based in sterling, GBP, but we hedge the currencies if you invest in dollars and euro so that you are not exposed to the currency risk. 10,000 is the absolute minimum, yes. Let's look at the investment strategy. Let's talk about how we make money. Now, the first thing I'm going to mention here is before we look at what we do is who pays the fees. Because it's all right talking about building the business, but who pays the fees? And all of our fees are paid for by 2 sets of people. The first one is insurance companies. Where there's been an accident or something has happened and someone has been injured, there's usually another party and their insurance company pay the fees for the care. That's one part. The other part is all paid for by the government and is set in law to be paid by the government. And the reason the government pay is it's cheaper for them. If they're not with us in one of our homes, they are usually in a hospital. And a hospital costs 50 to 100% more than a place in our homes. By the way, how big do you think our homes are? When you think of a care home, how big do you think? How many rooms do you think? Yeah, our average size is 5 or 6 rooms. Because the homes are in the places that you live. They're in the community, because that's the best place to give care, where people can integrate and mix. So these are small homes with care workers inside who look after them. And therefore they have jobs in the community, particularly those with Down syndrome, autism, and things like that. They tend to work in the area. So we have lots of homes, but with small numbers of beds in each, providing good, strong local care. And what we do when we buy other groups of homes, yesterday we bought this business for £70 million, 19 new homes, but each home will have an average between, on this one, 7 or 8 rooms. And people are cared for in these homes, and we build on that. Where we need to, we'll build extra rooms on the property because that brings the fees. The lowest fees we receive are about £1,200 a week. That's 6,000 shekels a week. At the top end, we're receiving £10,000 a week, where you have the high intensity of care, which is like 50,000 shekels a week. But the government is paying this, and the insurance companies are paying it. 1, because the insurance companies have to, but 2, for the government, it's cheaper than them being in hospital. And if they're in hospital, they're taking a place from somebody else who needs to come in for emergency treatment, surgery, or something like that. So the government likes the idea, and also, it's good for them. If they say they've got a community plan where those people who have problems with mental problems, learning difficulties, are cared for in the community, or where people have had accidents, they're cared in a small environment, a good caring environment, then it goes down well with the voters. So it's a good way to do it. So we grow by buying businesses and building them into ours, and we grow by building extra rooms in the homes that we have. Because if it costs us £80,000 to build a room, but we're getting at least £1,200 a week, it's paid for in no time and adds significantly to the earnings that we make straight away. So it's a very profitable way for us to build our business. And so we build our business that way as well. And also, because there are waiting lists to get places, there are long waiting lists, we have a 96% occupancy, which is fantastic. So we keep building and building, and we'll buy properties locally and expand them. It's a private company. We own the whole business, and the only way you can invest into it is by buying into the fund. The fund is registered with the regulator, and we produce report and accounts every year, and you can see whatever we do. And the fund is priced every month, so you can see every month what is going on. You give us effectively, it's 4 months' notice that you'd give us to come out of the fund over the period you're invested. Just coming to which slide we need now. At the beginning of 2018, after we made our exit, we bought a new business, and we're already in the plans of growing that business forward, and we expect that business to be sold on again within 18 to 24 months, when we will start again with a new business and build and build. The idea is to build a business that's profitable and then sell it and then move on and make profits to our clients. As you saw, the people that were in for the first 3 years made 75%. We have We have exposure across the whole of the United Kingdom, so over England and Wales, wherever we need to be, we can get new homes, build them into the structure. Finally, I have to talk about two things. I know I have to be quite quick. Risk. This is not a business particularly with financial risk, because the financials are so stable. There are two risks. One was Brexit, and Brexit was the acquirement of staff. A lot of our staff were from the EU. We didn't know how we were going to get more EU staff after Brexit. What did we do? We bought the recruitment agency that supplies staff to the care industry, and so we have the first choice. Simple thing to do. Buy the agency, get the first choice of staff, and then the rest you supply to other groups, so you get the best care. The other thing to worry about is, what is your risk? It's reputation. We have to make sure we manage the business well, provide the best care without any problems, and that way we get more clients. And that's your risk. The risk is reputation as opposed to financial, and we have one of the best care portfolios in the business. So in summary, we finally add up. This is a business, we are unique. There is no one else like this. No one else has been able to do this, and it's a very difficult thing to enter. It's a long-term investment with long-term growth prospects. It's a market getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There are great consolidation prospects in buying other businesses and merging them into ours, in which we can make more money. And we value it on a simple profits basis. There's no complicated valuations. It's valued on the earnings business. Even though we own a big portfolio of properties inside the fund, we value it on earnings, which gives us a strong valuation basis and will make us very attractive when we come to sell the business in a year or a year and a half or 2 years' time to make more profit for you. And the final thing is, you're doing good. There is a socially responsible element where we are providing care and making people's lives better, whilst you can also profit. Thanks very much for listening to me. Thank you. A question, yes.
First of all, do you give cash flow, regular cash flow, or just cash at end?
No, it's a growth portfolio. So you can take out each year 7.5% cleanly. You can take out 7.5% each year of your investment, but it's designed for optimum purposes to be a growth portfolio. But yes, you can access each year up to 7.5% easily capital if you should wish it, yes. But it's not a coupon. That's not a coupon. It's a return of capital. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you are part of the MONTREUX.
The MONTREUX group, yes. Yeah.
Is it a Swiss group?
It's actually, the owner used to have a Swiss business when he founded this, and he loved Switzerland, so he called it Montreux. And if you go to our offices just outside of London, we have the Zurich room and the Zug room and the Geneva room. So it's just his name that he chose. But we are based just outside of London, and our business is UK based.
Quite few funds, right?
We have other funds, but this is our flagship fund. We have a lending fund. We had a mining fund, but the mining fund we didn't proceed with because it was just too difficult to get liquidity in it. We made vast profits, but we couldn't get the profits out. So we concentrate on our care business because that's what we really know what we're doing about, and that's our big flagship fund. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It's not a Swiss owner, no. The owner had not had a business. He's a British guy, but who actually runs the fund is we have a team of healthcare experts that make the health decisions. We have a whole team of analysts and accountants in our office in London that run the day-to-day business to make sure that we're profitable, to make sure that the care is right. We work very closely with the regulator, the CQC, the Care and Quality Commission in the UK. They do blind inspections on our properties to make sure that everything's in order. And in fact, all of our homes are rated very good or excellent, which in a star basis would be 4 or 5 star, every single one of them. The fund is open. It's a professional investor fund. So it's a qualified investor fund. In Israel, we know we can take 35 non-qualified investors a year because we have to meet the Israeli rules. We're always in talking with the lawyers and the regulators here to find alternative ways of promoting the fund. The fund is actually registered in the Isle of Man, but Montreux Capital... Isle of Man. Isle of Man, it's the small island between Britain and Ireland. It's a nil-tax financial services centre. Okay? Thank you very much indeed.